Very good afternoon, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure to join all of you today at GenZero's Climate Summit Insights 2026 Legal Accounting Forum. Today, we meet at an important point in history. Around the world, sustainability goals are increasingly being challenged by geopolitical dislocations. The US officially withdrew from the Paris Agreement in January this year, and the European Commission's new ESG reporting rules are raising concerns amongst investors about the trajectory of corporate accountability. More recently, the conflict in Iran and the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz has driven up global energy costs, threatened shortages all around the world. These developments underscore the need for more resilient supply chains, more diverse energy sources, and more credible pathways in our long-term growth. But beyond politics, two other major forces will continue to shape the global climate agenda. First, economics. Global investment in energy transition reached record highs of $2.3 trillion US dollars in 2025, and this is up by 8% from 2024. And green growth opportunities remain strong. Second, Mother Nature. The effects of climate change are being acutely felt through damaged assets, disrupted supply chains, and harm to communities. In 2025, last year, extreme weather events cost over $70 billion US dollars in losses across the Asia-Pacific region alone. Public expectations will compel governments and businesses to move decisively to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Southeast Asia plays a central role in this global climate transition. The region possesses significant potential in renewable energy, blue carbon, nature-based solutions, and avoided deforestation projects. Now, this opens up significant opportunities to spur economic development while bolstering climate resilience. Against this backdrop, organizations need to position themselves to not only manage risks, but also make the most of new opportunities to spur economic development while bolstering climate resilience. And this is where the legal and accounting professions have a very important role to play. You help businesses understand their obligations, structure transactions, manage risks, and perhaps most important of all, build confidence. In the carbon ecosystem, your expertise will help turn climate ambition into practical, credible action. Singapore will continue to position ourselves as a proactive and trusted partner in building a more sustainable future. Our ambition is clear: to be a global and regional hub for sustainability, green finance, and climate action. Our ESG efforts are anchored in three core principles. First, pragmatic long-term planning. For a resource-constrained nation like ours, sustainable development is imperative. And this is why we have designated the year 2026, this year, as the year of climate adaptation. And we are formulating our first national adaptation plan to strengthen heat, coastal, and flood resilience. Through the Singapore Green Plan 2030, we have set ambitious yet concrete milestones for the decades ahead, including our commitment to net zero emissions by the year 2050. While we remain cognizant of the economic costs of decarbonization, we cannot afford to retreat from climate action. Second, catalyzing change through finance and technology. A green future is not just about environmental protection, but also about creating new opportunities. Singapore is positioning ourselves as a leading center for green finance in Asia through a whole range of government initiatives. Third, constructive international engagement and regional cooperation. Through our collaboration with our ASEAN partners, green economy agreements with major partners like Australia, and implementation agreements under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, we are building regional and global frameworks for cross-border climate cooperation. The same values guide our approach to carbon markets, and we have been intentional in building a vibrant carbon service and trading ecosystem anchored upon strengths of trust and connectivity. And let me say a little bit more on these two fronts. First, on trust. In carbon markets, trust is not just a good to have. It is in fact fundamental to the demand, pricing, and long-term viability of carbon credits. To that end, Singapore's robust legal and accounting systems are not merely instruments of oversight. They are market infrastructure that is essential to the growth of carbon markets. Our trusted legal system gives market participants the confidence that disputes, if and when they arise, will be resolved in a manner that is fair, efficient, and principled. Legal clarity gives investors confidence in what is being bought, sold, owned, and financed. Singapore actively participates in multilateral initiatives examining the legal issues relating to carbon markets, including the International Institute for the Unification of Private Law project on the legal nature of verified carbon credits, and the Hague Conference on Private International Law, experts group on carbon markets, which address private law and private international law issues arising from these markets. Engaging in global carbon market discussions allows Singapore to align its domestic climate strategies with international standards, anticipate trends, and help shape robust, credible carbon trading systems worldwide. And this also ensures the operability of the carbon market system, which often span across different jurisdictions. Accounting frameworks are also equally important. They help translate climate ambition into measurable outcomes. They support clearer reporting, more informed decision-making, and better planning. And so that's the first strength, that of trust in our systems, in our frameworks. Second, on connectivity. As the world embraces green transition, Singapore's connectivity, especially in Southeast Asia, makes us a prime candidate to serve as the region's leading carbon trading and services hub. We are deeply embedded in global financial flows. Singapore is well positioned to connect regional decarbonization projects with global capital, particularly given Southeast Asia's potential as one of the world's largest sources of carbon credits. Our world-class communications and financial infrastructure allow us to seamlessly connect companies seeking credible offsets with developers in need of financing. Our strength as a professional services hub allow us to bring together legal, accounting, and risk professionals across traditional sectoral boundaries. So as carbon markets mature, these attributes will become increasingly critical to uphold confidence, enable cross-border activity, and connect supply, demand, and capital across the region. And that is why Singapore is well-positioned to serve as the region's leading carbon trading and services hub. But I must add that a successful hub is not built by policy alone. It is built, in fact, by people, by professionals with the expertise, acumen, and willingness to engage with new opportunities. And this brings me to the lawyers and accountants in the room. Now, the growth of carbon markets presents a significant opportunity for the legal and accounting professions. You represent an essential part of the equation that will enable carbon markets to scale. These markets need clear contracts, reliable reporting, practical advice, and professionals who can help businesses move forward with confidence. The advice you provide will continue to set the standards that carbon markets rely on. So I encourage all of you to see carbon markets not just as a sustainability topic, but also as an exciting professional frontier. Now, recognizing this, the government, in partnership with key stakeholders, has made a few deliberate investments to strengthen carbon-related and sustainability capabilities for your professions. This year, for instance, the Ministry of Law launched a pilot ESG legal secondment program to build sustainability-related capabilities across the legal profession. Under this program, lawyers are seconded to ESG-forward corporations to develop the expertise working on live ESG projects. In addition, key stakeholders such as Law Society, SAL, SCCA, and ISCA offer regular programs on the latest ESG-related trends and issues. For instance, SCCA, in partnership with NTU, has launched a carbon market series targeted specifically at in-house counsel. So, I would like to encourage legal and accounting professionals here today to consider new ways to work more closely and seamlessly across disciplines. Carbon markets do not sit neatly within one profession. Your ability to integrate the many perspectives, legal, accounting, and business, all into one, will enable you to deliver greater value to both your organization as well as your clients. Forums, such as the one we are in today, are precisely where such cross-disciplinary systems and networks are designed and forged, and I hope all of you will make the full use of this afternoon's opportunity. So let me close by returning to why carbon markets matter. High-integrity carbon markets can help channel capital, reward real emission reductions, and support growth that is greener, fairer, more durable. But these markets will succeed only if people trust them. As legal and accounting professionals, you are stewards of the infrastructure that undergirds this trust. Now, if we get this right, we will do more than build a carbon trading hub. We will help shape a regional ecosystem comprising sustainable businesses and communities that generations to come can look forward to with confidence. And this is an opportunity that all of us can seize together. On that note, I would like to extend my gratitude and vote of thanks to GenZero, ANG, HFW, as well as Linklaters for today's program. I'm confident that the discussions ahead will be productive, insightful, and fruitful. And I wish everybody a wonderful afternoon ahead. Thank you very much.